XRP, we start with 1 hour chart. Just I want to give a quick update. First of all, if we refer to our analysis, in my last week analysis, we mentioned we have been looking for buy. And even in my last analysis, I mentioned the only way to look for trade for buy was from here. That's why I mentioned since the price was within this move here, I mentioned whoever get the trade, at least move their stop loss to somewhere around 0.5656 cent. And beside that, I mentioned either 56, 57, or 58. I mentioned it's optional, but I was highlighting it. But the best things is below this one. That means the 56. But whoever move their stop loss at the 58, that means they shouldn't be in the trade. But 56 and 57, they should be in the trade. And if still they're in the trade, they maintain their stop loss at 56 or 57 because there was a continuation, but as a corrective move, and there was no trade setup to look for within this one. When I say there was no trade setup, it depends on the strategy they use. But I mean, the trader they use is different. For me, based on the strategy I use, I didn't have any trade setup. Maybe some other traders they could get the trade from here. Because for me to look for trade from here, either we trade based on 15-minute or put our entry above the stop. Anyway, there was no trade setup. That's why we didn't have any update. And the best things to look for buying was from here. Okay. And if we put this stop in relative to the previous one, we see we have a divergence. Even in my last analysis, we point on the divergence when the price was within this range. But we should note this divergence is based on a 1 hour chart. Okay. And right now, there is a possibility we can put this one in relative to this. That means we can look at this one for flat for one move up. Now we want to see whether we can look for this trade or not. Okay. Anyway, we move to daily chart. Sorry, daily chart. We want to see how we can look for trade. But before we look at the chart, the first things again, I need to highlight we have been looking for this one as a flat. Okay. Now the question is whether this is the start of the up move or we can expect this one turn to a correction as what I mentioned based on the for Bitcoin and the ETH, because there is a possibility this one give us a flat for one more drop. That means this one can turn to extension wave. And mostly we can point on this one as a first internal flat as a correction for one more drop. We need to be really careful about this. Again, I don't want to say the price is going to drop. The only thing is if we're looking for trade for buy, as I mentioned, based on 1 hour chart, more we should book some profit. And even from now, if we want to look for trade, we need to be quite careful. We need to be aware of this flat. As long as the price haven't break the previous top, we need to be quite careful about the flat I mentioned. That means the previous top is 73. Okay, but the one things I need to highlight here, I'm more interested in the to look for trade for or invest in the XRP. The reason is if we move to the weekly chart, all right, the price couldn't, because the highest price we get was 3.3, which is somewhere around to 2018. All right, in the current bull market, the price couldn't retest the previous top because of many reasons, and one of the reasons can be because of the SEC. But as we can see, based on Bitcoin and the ETH and some other charts, the price could break the previous top. Okay, but this is the one of the reasons I'm more interested to look for the XRP, because if this is the correction, that means still we are in the bull market. That means if we see the reversal, it can give us better performance in terms of the risk and reward, because we have a lower price. The first thing is the price haven't broke the previous top. Okay, but this is what I think, because if I see the next bull start in terms of the risk and reward, it can give us good trade. And beside that, we should be quite careful about the SEC. We have this issue as well. Okay, anyway, now want to see how we can look for trade. And again, for the XRP, if I see any trade setup, I will take it, because as I mentioned, the price haven't retested the previous top, which is 2018. As we can see this year, the highest price we get almost 2.0. Okay, now want to see how we can look for trade. The only thing is still we can expect this one move quite higher, but still we need to be quite careful about this flat. All right, and now if he wants to look for trade, I prefer to see the daily correction. If the price we see this one daily correction, any trade from there we can expect to be the longer term, at least to retest the previous top, which is somewhere around 70 or 73. Okay, and no, whether we should look for trade based on daily chart, we don't have the really good trade setup because we don't see the daily correction. But if it give us daily correction, is really good for us. And if I move to forward chart, and based on forward chart, this is the correction we have it. Right now I'm looking at this. If I get any trade setup, mostly I will look at the 1 hour chart, I will take it. Because I'm expecting to see one move up, at least we want to see whether the price can break 65 or 66. If the price can break, is good. If not, then from there, this is what we're looking for. All right, that's why it's still the possibility of this one to put in relative to this to look for flat. Still, it can be an option. But for me, what I believe, we need to see one move up, and we need to see the breakout of the 65 or 66. If the price can break, is good. If not, then mostly we can look at this one as a flat. Okay, that's why if I see any trade setup based on 1 hour chart from this correction, I will take the trade. But based on forward chart, we don't have any trade setup. And if I move to 1 hour chart, again, if we refer to my analysis for the Bitcoin and the ETH, having entry above the top, I didn't recommend it. But for XRP, I will do it. That means if I will put, the right now, if we want to look for a trade, the only way is to put our entry above this one, somewhere around 0.613. Again, this is what I think. It depends on the strategy that traders they use, because right now I will look at this one as the internal flat as the first correction for the last. All right, that's why having entry above this as 0.613 can be an option. And what we wanted in the bigger picture, we're looking at this one as a flat, as a 1, 2, 3 in relative to this. And what I want to see the continuation as a short move. If the price continues as a corrective move, we are not going to keep our entry above the top. What we want to see the continuation as a sharp move and breakout. And if the price tag we see is not moving within the first or maximum second hours, we are not going to keep the trade. When I'm talking about this continuation as a sharp move, similar to what we get here or what we have here. Okay. But for the XRP having entry above this, I will suggest it because I explained based on daily chart and the weekly chart. I'm more interested to look for the trade setup for the XRP, because if this is the start of the up move in terms of the risk and reward, it can give us good trade. But if the price give us a correction here, it give us one more drop and price drop to 0.59, then at that times I will move my entry and I will put, for example, if we see the correction move, I will adjust my entry. Okay, but right now I will put my entry above this, which is 0.613. Okay, again, traders, they need to be quite careful because as we can see, we have a divergence. Simply the price can tag and drop. That's why if the price tag we see is not moving, we are not going to keep the trade more than 2 hours. But if the price tag break and we see the breakout of the 62, then from there we need to adjust our, at least we start over to manage the trade. What I mean by manage, at least move our stop loss to break even. Because right now, if we get any trade, I want to see the price retest the previous top, which right now I'm looking for somewhere around 65 or 66, which is this one. That means I'm looking for the trade within this range. Then from there, we need to see whether the price can break 65, 66 or not. If the price can break, is good. The next level we're looking for is 74. If not, then from there, we can expect this one turn to flat. Okay. And in this case, if I move to 1 hour chart, first things, whoever get the trade from here, still they should move their, they maintain a stop loss at 56 or 57. And right now, if we get any trade from here, we will take it. Okay, and even if this one turned to sharp move flag, we will take the trade. But from what I have right now, the only way is to put our entry above the stop. But if we see any changes, then I will give an update. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.